Welcome back, Husker fans. This is Cornfield Confessional. I'm your host, Jake Brown. God, today sucks, man. Yeah, today stings. Huskers take their second straight loss at home to the Illinois Fighting Illini, 78-69. We hoped this would be a statement turnaround win for Nebraska after a valiant, shorthanded effort in Ann Arbor, and instead it turns into our second straight loss. This definitely exposed some weaknesses or gaps in Nebraska's game. And while losing's never fun, right, especially as Nebraska basketball fans, we're used to it, but it's how this one unfolded. That's what we need to talk about. So, final score and storyline. Again, Illinois leaves Lincoln with a 78-69 win. That is Illinois' 11th straight victory. They are hot as ever, as hot as any team in the country. Nebraska moves to 20-2 on the season, 9-2 in Big Ten play. We are now in a tie for second with Michigan State in the conference. Illinois improves to 19-3, 10-1 in the conference. They're now in a tie for first place with Michigan. This wasn't a game that slipped away in the final 30 seconds, right? It was a contest where Nebraska completely lost control in the second half, especially on the offensive end, and that's what's so disheartening and discouraging. So let's talk about the first half. Let's be clear. Nebraska came out of the gate solid, right? We actually led at halftime, 39-33. They were finding looks and competing. Braden Frager returned from that ankle injury. He gave us a spark, led us in scoring with 20 points. I thought that was a bright spot. We had decent production from Price Sanford. Sam Hoiberg played another great game, and that's really what allowed us to keep it early. Jamarcus Lawrence hit a couple threes in the first half. But it wasn't like it was a dominant first half. I mean, each team, we were trading leads back and forth, I feel like. But Illinois, really, their game plan coming into this, I thought was outstanding. I feel like they did a really good job minimizing Nebraska's ability to, find open looks, hit open threes. I feel like their zone defense really hurt us, and we never really were able to kind of get into a rhythm. But the second half is where things fell apart. Illinois turned it into their game in the second half. They outscored us 45-30 in the second half, and Nebraska never was able to really regain control. Illinois held us to just 4 field goals in the first 13 minutes of the second half. That's thanks to their height. We couldn't get any shots in the paint. When we tried, we got swatted. We couldn't get rebounds. They shut us down in the second half. 4 makes in 13 minutes for Nebraska. And most of those were coming from three-point. I've tried so hard this whole season to get rid of that narrative that Nebraska lives and dies by the three-pointer. And we've shown multiple times this season we don't just need to hit threes to win. We can win in a variety of ways, multitude of scores. We move the ball well. We force turnovers, which turns into points on the other end. But this game was the complete opposite. We couldn't do anything but hit threes, and we went cold late. And really what it comes down to in that second half, Nebraska struggled to score inside. Illinois packed the paint. They contested our drives, and they forced tough shots, and they deserve all the credit. Illinois deserves all the credit. And when you can't get easy buckets and Illinois defenders are tagging more than one guy on drives, it kills your rhythm. I thought they out-physicaled us big time. Let's get into team stats. Got a graphic for you guys. So, Illinois, and this tells the story. The stats don't lie, guys. Illinois out-rebounded us 40-27. That's not just a stat. That's effort, physicality, and complete control of the glass. They out-rebounded us on the offensive glass 11-6, and they outscored us 28-18 in the paint. And I know, somebody in the comments, educated me that, that's one of the things Nebraska does intentionally. We don't go for offensive rebounds. We're not always going to defend, big teams from getting offensive rebounds because that's what helps us. We get back in transition, so we don't allow fast break points. But you know what? This is the second straight game where we've gotten dominated on the glass. And then that was the difference. We couldn't score in the paint and we couldn't get rebounds. They had so many extra possessions, Illinois, in this game. And it was the reason they won. I mean, we could never get into a rhythm because we couldn't control rebounds. We couldn't come down with them. And we couldn't get anything inside to Rienk or Bereke Buyuktuncel. And I'll talk about them in a minute. But I don't give a crap what people say in the comments. Oh, well, we're not going to go for rebound. That's bullshit. You lose games when you don't go for rebounds. You can't get out rebounded like this and expect to win games in the Big Ten. And it comes down to Rienk Mast and Bereke Buyuktuncel. And I'll get to them later. Let's just keep going through the stats. Both teams turned it over 8 times. That wasn't a factor. The other big disparity in stats, and this was just like against Michigan. Back-to-back games where Nebraska can't get to the frickin' free throw line. We had 5 total shots at the free throw line today. Illinois had 26. I talked about in the pregame how Illinois is one of the best teams in the country at getting to the foul line. They were aggressive. They found the Avicic twins inside. They found Jake Davis inside. They did basically whatever they want in the paint. They were getting alley-oops. And they got to the line. 26 shots compared to our 5. Are you kidding me? Now Nebraska fans can't whine and bitch about the officiating. It's a weakness. Jamarcus Lawrence hasn't been aggressive taking it to the rim like he was in the past. We're not getting any shots inside the paint, and we're not staying aggressive. All we want to do is just shoot threes, chuck up threes. And it hurt us today. It killed us. Box score. Let's look at that graphic. So you can see Keaton Wagler. I'm saying it right now. Keaton Wagler is unbelievable. He is the real deal, and I talked about him in the preview. That kid is one of the most confident, cool, and collected freshmen I've ever watched. 28 points. He had 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. He's unbelievable, and we couldn't do anything to stop him. Jake Davis was their second leading scorer. He came out of nowhere, 13 points. But look at the rebounding that I highlighted. David Mirkovic, 8 rebounds, 10 points. Tomislav Avicic, 12 points, 8 rebounds. The other Avicic twin, 7 points, 7 rebounds. They had so many damn rebounds, and it killed us. And, they dominated us on the glass in that first game, but Nebraska was shooting better. We were hitting more shots, So, for Nebraska, Frager led us in scoring with 20. Bryce Sanford had another pretty good game, 14 points. Cooled off in the second half. He had 5 rebounds. But the big shocker, and what I'm going to get into next, Bereke Buyuktuncel, 3 points. Rienk Mast, 5 points. 2 of 10 from the field. 0 of 3 downtown. And he only had 4 rebounds. Now, he had 5 assists, but that did nothing to help us win in this game. You see Frager led us in points. Sanford was second. Sam Hoiberg, I didn't highlight him. Look at his number. 13 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. So Sam Hoiberg, Bryce Sanford, and Braden Frager did their part. Okay, you can see Nebraska shot good from free throws, but we only had 5 of them, 4 of 5 to Illinois' 21 of 26. We outshot Illinois from 3-point. I said I thought we could win the game if we either shoot better from the field or hit more threes. We did one of those, and we still lost. We shot 43% from 3-point. They only shot 30%. We hit 15 threes to their 9. But they shot 44% from the field to our 42%. We couldn't score in the paint, and they dominated the glass, and they got to the free throw line. That was the difference in this game. Key performers. Let me get rid of that. So, for Illinois, Keaton Wagler is unbelievable. 28 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He's the real deal, and he dominated us. He didn't score 46 like he did against Purdue, but he controlled this game. I thought manning the point, running their offense, he was calm, cool, and collected. He didn't turn it over. He got them good looks. The alley-oop passes, those were unbelievable. I mean, he played incredible. Jake Davis, I didn't even really talk about him in the preview for this game. He had a good game, 13 points, 3 rebounds, but it was the Avicic twins. Tomislav had 12 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and his brothers Vanamir finished with 7 points and 7 rebounds. They dominated us inside, whether it was getting offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, or just scoring in the paint. For the Huskers, Braden Frager finished with 20 points and 2 rebounds. It's good that he looked healthy. He looked back to normal. Price Sanford, 14 points, 5 rebounds. But I thought the player of the game for us, once again, Sam Hoiberg, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and a steal. He's the only one that can frickin' get rebounds for us because our bigs don't want to get physical. But let's talk about where Nebraska got whipped, guys. Because I was in a good mood and I was nothing but positive after that Michigan loss because we played our asses off. We did everything we could have to win that game, and we were shorthanded. We get our dudes back. Rienk Mast still looks sick. I don't know what the hell his deal is, but we need the real Rienk Mast to please stand back up again. But let's talk about it, where we got whipped. So the second half scoring drought, I already talked about it. We didn't score. We scored 4 buckets in 11 minutes in the second half, first 11 minutes. That's ridiculous. We never have scoring droughts like that. And it's because we weren't staying aggressive. We weren't attacking the rim. We weren't going up. Who cares if they blocked a shot? Take it up, Cale Jacobson. Take it up, Sam Hoiberg. Take it up, Jamarcus Lawrence. So the scoring drought killed us. It was the rebounding, the complete advantage to Illinois in the rebounding. The paint scoring I already talked about, 28-18 it favored Illinois. And the momentum shift in the second half. It was like every time we hit a 3 to bring it within 3-4 points, Illinois responded and answered. And that's in large part to Keaton Wagler, but I give Illinois credit, their coaching staff credit. They were more prepared. Their zone defense worked. They shut down, Nebraska's offense in the second half. They shut us down. 2 guys I want to talk about. And this really has dominated my whole reaction from this game. Bereke Buyuktuncel, 3 freaking points, 6 rebounds, and 3 turnovers. Shot 1 of 4 from the field, 1 of 3 from downtown. He also had 4 fouls in this game. Nebraska had 19 fouls on the day. Illinois had 10. So a second game in a row, we are fouling way too much when we don't need to. We got both Rienk Mast and Braden Frager back. But Bereke just has not played worth a shit. Pretty much all season. He plays. Today he didn't play good defense. He's a good defender. He's been our best rebounder, but he has hurt us. And it's not just been the last 2 games. He's hurt us the last 10 games. We need him to figure it out. He's got to be able to score more than 3 points. He's got to be able to move with the ball in his hands and create shots. He's been worthless to us. In this game, he was worthless. He's out of control. He's a spaz with the ball in his hands. He did nothing to help us in this game. And the one I'm most disappointed in, who I thought would lead us in scoring and get back to his old self, Rienk Mast. I don't give a shit if he's sick or if he's injured. Get him out of the game, okay? Look at his numbers. 5 points, 5 rebounds. I'm not even going to talk about his 5 assists. I don't give a shit. 5 points and 5 rebounds from our best player, the guy that created this surge in Nebraska basketball. He was 2 of 10 from the field, 0 of 3 from downtown. 0 for 3 from downtown. I keep saying that wrong. We need him to wake up. We can't beat a top 10 team like Illinois that's hotter than anyone in the country when we're getting our asses kicked in the paint, on the glass, and he can't score. And, the announcers were talking about it. Whether, he doesn't look himself. His legs look like they're giving out. Well, then get him out of the game. The last 7 games, Rienk Mast has sucked. We need him to get back to his normal self. Will the real Rienk Mast please stand up? We needed him against Michigan. We needed him in this game. We've needed him the last 10 games, but we found ways to get the victory 8 out of those 10 times. But back-to-back losses, and it's because he got sick against Michigan and he was nowhere to be found in this game. Get yourself healthy or frickin' quit, Rienk. I'm sick of this. He was horrible. And you know, I've been having this feeling for the last 5 games. Rienk has not held his own. He's not physical. He can't fight for rebounds. He never gets more than 4 or 5 rebounds. That's a problem for your biggest 6'10", whatever the hell, power forward center. I don't give a shit. You need your biggest guy to get rebounds. We don't have anyone that can come in the game and get rebounds. Hell, Sam Hoiberg's been our leading rebounder the last 10 frickin' games. That's a problem. When you play teams like Michigan State or Michigan or Illinois, the best teams in our conference, you can't get dominated on the glass. And you see it. When we don't hit threes, we're screwed. Because we don't get shots in the paint. Rienk Mast won't post up and take hook shots. He can't create shots. We turn the ball over too much. We just couldn't get into a rhythm because of our inability of our bigs to do anything inside. Jared Garcia can't come in and do anything. He sucks. Leo Curtis didn't get any playing time. You know, so if we're just going to play Bereke Buyuktuncel and Rienk Mast, you know, then they need to frickin' do something. And they did jack shit in this game. So it's frustrating because I don't, you know, I've got nothing but bad feelings inside of me right now. You know, call it fatigue, call it execution, call it defense falling off, but Nebraska didn't come out sloppy, at least not in the first half, but when Illinois took control after the break, we had no answers. And that was the difference. And look, let's get into my final thoughts. This loss doesn't ruin Nebraska's season. It doesn't kill our Big Ten title hopes. But the way this happened, not just me, every Husker fan has a right to be worried. You can't just lead at halftime, then go ice cold in the second half for the second straight game against a top 10 team. Back at home, the signal's loud. When Nebraska goes cold on offense and gets beaten on the boards, we're fucked. It's going to be a long-ass day. So yeah, today sucks. But we analyze, we learn, and just hope the Huskers come back sharper next time. We got another long-ass break before we play again. Next game this Saturday at Rutgers. I don't know anything about Rutgers. I'll do a preview for that, you know, early or middle of this week. But this one sucks, guys, and it's the way we lost. It's Rienk Mast continuing his stretch of piss-poor play. It's Bereke Buyuktuncel continuing to prove that he can't score, can't do anything on the offensive side of the ball. And when Price Sanford didn't score 38 points, it hurts. It's hard for it's going to be hard for us to win, man. I give my kudos to Sam Hoiberg, who continues to play incredible basketball, filling out the stat sheet, doing everything that Rienk Mast and Bereke Buyuktuncel don't want to do, nabbing rebounds, leading us in rebounds, leading us in assists, scoring double digits. Cale Jacobson didn't take enough shots today. You know, I got to get that final thought out too. As happy as I've been with him the last few games, I thought he wasn't aggressive, didn't take shots when he could have. I thought he was afraid of getting his shot blocked, but who gives a shit? Let him block your shot. You still have a chance of getting fouled and going to the line. And Nebraska didn't. We weren't aggressive at all taking it to the rim. It was like we were afraid of getting our shots blocked. And Illinois deserved it. They deserve the credit. They played excellent. They had a good game plan. They dominated on the glass. Their zone defense worked. They got us into uncomfortable possessions. Nebraska many times was forced to take a late shot as the shot clock ran out, and that's attributed to Illinois' defensive game plan. And I'm just worried that they figured us out, and now Purdue and all these other teams are going to be able to, you know, have figured us out now. They're going to turn on this tape and go, Rienk Mast is soft as hell. He's not 100% clearly. We're going to kick their ass. Bereke Buyuktuncel can't hold on to the ball. He can't score. We're going to completely take those two out of the game and force Nebraska's Price Sanford or Braden Frager to beat us by scoring 40 fucking points. So I don't feel the same anymore. And people in the comments can tell me you're overreacting. You're getting way too reactive after a loss to a top 10 team. But you know what? We were at home. We had all the momentum in our favor. We had our team back, a full healthy roster again. And I just thought we played lethargic on defense. That was the worst we've looked on defense all year. We weren't closing out on threes. We weren't going after balls other than Sam Hoiberg. We just looked lethargic and shitty, like we didn't care. And offensively, we had scoring droughts like we haven't seen before. And it was our reluctance to want to get aggressive. Jamarcus Lawrence taking it to the rim, getting to the line. We did that against Indiana when we were down big in that game. We've done that multiple times this season where things aren't going our way and we're not hitting shots. We turn it around by getting aggressive. And I think you have to give credit to Illinois for the way they schemed and the way their defense played, the way they out-physicaled us. But I think there's a reluctance on this team for us to fucking take the ball to the rim and go up and get fouled. We're too three-point shooting. We're too privy to want to shoot threes. I know Frager was hitting them today. That's fine. I know Sanford can do that. But everybody else needs to stop shooting three-pointers and take the damn ball to the rim. That's what Illinois did. They took the ball to the rim. So I apologize for the anger and the cursing and just the overall negativity. But, it's like God gives us a season that we've never had before in basketball, a sport we don't know anything about. After 15-plus years of shit in football, and now we've lost 2 in a row, and everything seems to be falling apart. And it starts off with Rienk Mast, and what the hell's happened to him, where he's gone. He was playing at an absolutely sky-high level. First 15 games of this season. I don't know what the hell his deal is, but he needs to fucking figure it out. And because without him, we're screwed. This season's not going to go the way we had hoped if he doesn't get his shit together. And I don't know what it's going to take, but this loss stings. It really showcased a lot of weaknesses on this basketball team. 2 in a row. We got to wait another 6 days to play another game. That didn't seem to help us, in between Ann Arbor and this one. We had a 6-day break, so I don't know. That's all I've got. Tune in for the Rutgers preview. Hopefully you guys are more positive than me. Go Big Red.